Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to the Southman Auto Channel. Sitting inside the 2018 non-Hemi Dodge Challenger. It's got the big 3.6. The money light was on, but I fixed that. Simple P0128 thermostat. Put a thermostat in it, ran the drive cycle. Robert's your mother's brother. Customer did state they've been having an intermittent problem with the airbag light coming on. And I don't know as if it's on right now. It is not on right now. So here we are. I do have the code pulled up. I was on a test drive with it, and it did come on. It's interesting because this code still shows active. It's a Bravo 212 Delta -13 ignition run only input circuit open. And okay, yeah. What is weird is the fact is it doesn't think I have the key on. Let me pop back out of here. Sometimes Chrysler can be a little funky if you unplug the scan tool, which I had done. Let's see if this works. Okay, so now it's in there as a stored code. All right, and I was in the live data, and I did see where it lost what appeared to be this ignition voltage. I'm going to go in there now. We're going to take a look to see if somehow it miraculously came back, because if it did, this is going to be an intermittent problem. Like the customer stated, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to figure out. So very interesting here. When I was driving it and the light came on, this ignition voltage here was at 0.06. This ignition RS voltage was right where it needed to be. We have a maintainer on it now, so we're at 13.8. Okay. At this point, we don't know anything. I don't want to touch anything because I don't want it to fix itself. So these are both fed from independent fuses. One is full-time power, one is keyed power. I think if we shut the key off, the data transmission on this is really, really slow. Yeah, see, everything just kind of goes blank. That's with the key off, but the communication is really slow. I'm going to restart the scan tool to see if that's it. We'll take it for a little toot, see if we get light to come back on and figure out what the world's going on here. We're back in action, boys. I just pulled out to take it for a little toot. I guess we don't have to now. Good. Hopefully it stays broke. We'll pull back inside here. Even after restarting the scan tool and the VCI module up there, it's still slower to death. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just the way the CCU communicates, but here we are. This is why it's set in the code. Now this code should be active at this point. Yeah, and it is. So active code, yeah. Bravo 212 Delta -13 ignition run only input circuit open. Let's pop the trunk because the fuse box, that's where it lives, in their trunk button. Yeah, there we go. We'll go back there, find the fuses. We better pop our hood as well. Let's throw a maintainer back on, and see. We'll start right at the fuse. See if we're losing power there. Okay, so we're still broken. 0.09 volts is where it's sitting at right now. I'll stick this right here in case I touch something and it miraculously heals itself. Definitely don't want that. It's got a couple GM relays in it here. They say General Motors. I'm just going to kind of wiggle. I can see where somebody's been meddling back here. Yeah, it's got every single relay's been yanked out of this box. Greasy fingerprints on everything. Oh, voltage just came back and then it just left. It popped up to 12.6 and then it went away. Of course, like I say, the data on this is so slow. So I'm just gonna get it to display those two data PIDs. Yep, and now it's back. That's very interesting. Yep, it's back. Okay, let's find out which fuses they are. So I grabbed this wire diagram. Now there's two fuses on here. Looks like fuse 65 and fuse 58. So it's those ones up here in the top corner. Doesn't help you when you shine a light on it, does it? So it's those two fuses there. And let's see, the keyed power ignition run start specifically is fuse number 65. Kind of curious if that's loose. I see some of these fuses are not stuck in all the way. So let me find that little guy. 65. That's a 10 amp. I see our voltage is back and it's nice and steady. 65 and 58. Where are they in relationship to each other here? 58 to 65. Okay, so those two right there. I'm gonna look. Actually, I'm just gonna touch. I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna take the fuse right out, and I wanna see if our voltage goes to 0 volts. Okay, so the fuse I just pulled out is not the one that we're looking for. What did I just pull out? You pulled out wrong, dude. Okay, so that took the other voltage reading down. So let me get this one stuck back in there. We pull out this fuse and see if we lose the correct. Yes, okay, so this fuse here, which the fuse in and of itself looks good. It did seem to pull out kind of easy. This is fuse number 58. Fuse number 58, fused ignition run control. I'm gonna stick the fuse back in. I kind of want to see what it feels like. Power came right back immediately. It sucks that the data is so slow. I don't know. I'm gonna get a male blade that I can stick down in there to make sure that both of these terminals, both sides of the female half, I want to make sure it feels right, because it is a little bit on the funny side. But as you can see with that fuse out, we're back to that low voltage. Bear in mind, when we come back here and we're fiddling with the box, voltage came back. So this is why you don't touch stuff until you're kind of looking at some data. Realistically, we should have found where this airbag module is, hooked onto that, and then come back here and fiddled. But that's just because our data, our refresh rate is so slow on the scan tool. Stand by. So I'm going to do a pin drag test. I'm going to just use this male half here, which is very similar to that spade, just so I can feel the load side and the power side of this to see what they feel like. I don't know what relay this is, but I've got to remove it so I can see better. That side feels really good. I don't feel anything. The one side here feels really good. The other side, I don't feel anything. I'm going to remove the other fuse just so I have something to gauge this from. The fuse that's not having a problem. That feels great. Box is in kind of a pisser of a spot here. Yeah, no, there's something going on with that other fuse. because the fuse that is good, okay, that feels good, that hole feels good, and then on the load side, of the one that's not having problems, I feel drag. On the load side of the one that is having problems, I don't feel anything. I don't know how it's working at all. Unfortunately, I cannot see down in here where it goes. It's in a heck of a spot. How about this? Can we lift this box up? There we go. Oh, now we're talking. Now we're talking, boys. Yeah, it's all freaking spread apart. So you got the old spreadaroo, classic. I think I might even be able to show you this. What a great YouTube video when you can actually show somebody something. This would be an easy fix, man. Now we can see there, Rocco. Oh yeah. Oh, that one. Oh, it's very tight. This one here, nothing. That one, oh, very tight. Easy, easy, easy. No parts required. Stick that there. Let me enhance, and unenhance. Okay, so here's our bad one. Look at this. This is the old hot dog down the hallway, baby. We got nothing. She's got no grip on me. We come into this one though. Oh yeah. Boom. That one there, tiger tight. Of course, it's not a circuit that we need. Just for example, like we're in. See how it kind of picks up on that whole bus bar, and then my pull-out game is strong on that one. But then you come to this one, nothing. It's not that old girl's first rodeo right there, let me tell you. And then the other side, you know, this is, I don't know if this is the load side or the power side, but in either case, that side feels great. All right, I'm happy with that one. Oftentimes, you can tell by looking at a fuse. See the scratch marks on the male half there? You know, that's another indicator. But like I say, when I was putting that fuse in and out, it felt like it was pulling uneven. And if you've yanked out enough fuses, you'll start to realize how they're supposed to feel. And I see that the legs on it are slightly tweaked. So perhaps somebody knew this and they just kind of tweaked the legs. I'm gonna try to reach in there with a little pick and kind of straighten those up. Let's see what we can do. Looks like it's been sizzling a little bit. I see some white crusties on the end of the female receptacle here. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Oh baby, that feels good. I think that's good. So all they are, just envision my little claw hands here. They're two metal terminals that sit like this, real close to each other. And then the little male half goes in between them, and it, you know, kind of scrapes down both sides. You know, it leaves the same, you know, just envision what it takes to leave that little scratch mark, you know, running down each side of the fuse, you know what I mean? Just a very thin little blade that touches that. You probably saw it when we enhanced. Let's see what this feels like now. Oh, hey baby, look at that, huh? I like that one. It does make me wonder why somebody's gone through and played relay swap. Got a couple relays here out of a Chevrolet. No wonder she runs so strong. Oh yeah, that felt great. And our voltage is back. What are we back at? 12.64. Oh, that relay just clicked. I'm sure we've generated a host of codes. Let's see what those two relays are, out of curiosity. I'm gonna guess transmission and fuel pump based off the last one of these things that we worked on. Number 13 and number 72. 72 is fuel pump, 13 rear defroster. All right, so it's not just like the last Challenger we worked on. It's really kind of bizarre. I never work on these cars. We don't see Challengers and Chargers and stuff. I don't know what oh, they're out there sucking up leaves. But then all of a sudden we've just had a run of these things, but okay. Huzzah, easy peasy, baby. There, now both our voltages are bang on the money. I'll go take her for a little rip around down there. But I think we're gonna be in good shape. All her lights off. This girl's gonna be happy. $83,000, 83,030. Voltage stayed steady. Plus, I'm quite confident in our diagnosis. I don't think we need to just drive around wasting our gas here. And that's it, folks. Oftentimes, car repairs are simple, like this. Particularly when it's, you know, intermittent. Airbag systems, generally speaking, are pretty resilient. You know, we don't fix a lot of them. You know, you don't usually see wiring issues with them. You know, there are certain models, you know, where you have, you know, problems with like seat connectors, things of that nature. There are certain vehicles, you know, that are pretty notorious pattern failures. You know, they're pretty sensitive to resistance in the inflator circuits and the squibs, if you will. So seats, you know, seat connectors are probably the most common seat belt connectors, you know, just because they're movable. So we'll see some issues there. But, you know, something like this where we're looking at, you know, two different voltage supplies going into it, you know, a full-time source and a keyed source. And, you know, the fact we went back there, we touched the bottom, all of a sudden it's working. On my test drive, I was just, you know, randomly driving up the road and bang, it came on. My gut told me we're going to have a connection issue, whether it's a pin fitment issue at the airbag module, at a connector, at a fuse. That's what my gut told me. And then also just the fact that when I'm sitting here making the video for you guys, you know, bang, it fixed itself and then it's broke. You know, so that's just kind of where I was going with that. One thing I would say, I guess if we can learn anything, we always try to learn a little something here, is look at it, see what you can see from the driver's seat. What can I diagnose? All right, we saw loss of voltage. Now don't touch anything until you arm yourself a little knowledge. For example, I got the wiring diagram, so we knew exactly which fuses, we knew which fuse box to go to, and thinking that it likely was a connection issue, potentially might be a connection issue, have your data sitting there. You know, the scan tool, as slow as it was communicating and refreshing, probably wasn't my best choice, but it worked. You know, it just worked out for us. Realistically, what would have been the best choice, depending on where the airbag module lives, would be to go right to the airbag module and say, okay, here's the circuit going to it. You know, probe into it, look at it on your multimeter or on your scope, and then go back and touch stuff. Oh, I'll wiggle the box, and you know, now you'll see these really fast fluctuations, or you'll see where the voltage comes and goes, and that would be definitive. Hey, I'm in the right area. What is it? Connection on the bottom of the fuse box? Is it pin fitment in the fuse? Is it, you know, what is it at that point? So, but we got fortunate here. We saw it drop, saw it come back, and then using that pin drag test was, you know, 100% confirmed. And then seeing a little bit of white crust from terminal fretting or corrosion, one or the other. I assume terminal fretting, where it just kind of sizzles a little bit, if you will, you know, kind of arcs and leaves that corrosion looking stuff on there. So that's it, easy fix. This girl's back in business. money lights fixed, airbag lights fixed. And why don't you guys start fixing to go into that comment section? That's the most southern thing I've said all day. Insty, Facebook. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.